Hey everybody, Matumbo here. Welcome back to the channel. We are playing some more historic here in Magic Arena, and today we have a really fun looking deck for you. It is a 5-color land destruction deck. We kind of have it abbreviated there in the title. But before we hop into this deck, I do want to remind you guys we've had some amazing days these last couple days. The channel is growing at a really crazy rate, so I would like to remind you guys to please hit that like button, please hit the subscribe button, please leave a comment down below, and also hit that bell icon to be notified as soon as these videos get posted live. So with that being said, let's hop right into this 5-color land destruction deck. So you might notice, well, hey, where's all the land destruction? Well, we're only playing one land destruction spell, and that is our friend, the Fall of the Thran. So Fall of the Thran is a saga. When it comes into play, it's going to destroy all the lands, and then the next 2 chapters, we're each going, us and our opponents are each going to be able to put 2 lands on the battlefield from our graveyard. So this isn't necessarily your typical Armageddon because it does allow you to rebuild, pretty quickly. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to do that in combination with Leyline of the Void. So if we have a Leyline of the Void in play, they're never going to have a graveyard. So whether we start with Leyline of the Void in play from our hand at the beginning of the game for free, or if we cast it later on before Fall of the Thran, we're just trying to keep their graveyard completely empty and them never being able to bring back land. So we're just going to take over the game from there. So we're going to be able to rebuild our mana pretty quickly. And then on top of that, once we Fall of the Thran, and we have a graveyard, we're doing cool things, we're going to be able to Eerie Ultimatum. Eerie Ultimatum, obviously we get to return any number of permanents with different names from our graveyard, and whether it be just different lands, enchantments, creatures, anything from our graveyard, we can bring one-ofs back into play. Super powerful. We're going to be using Tamiyo. We're kind of hopping all over the place, by the way, guys. So Tamiyo, this is a really cool Planeswalker, +1. We get to choose a non-land card, look at the top 4 cards. Any of those cards from that name go into our hand, the rest go into the graveyard. So we could use this to feed our graveyard to actually Eerie Ultimatum back a ton of stuff. So we could be naming, maybe we're trying to, hit our Shatter the Skies, but then at the same time we're milling, cards like Elspeth Conquers Death, or the other Fall of the Titan, or our Elvish Rejuvenators, or hitting our lands. We're still feeding our graveyard to make our Eerie Ultimatums better. So that's what's really cool about that. We do have a bunch of mana ramp. So this is a 5-color deck. We do need to make sure that we're hitting all of our colors. Elvish Rejuvenator lets us put a land into play from the top 5. Gift of Paradise lets us tap a land for 2 mana of any color, and it gains us 3 life, so that's good against aggro decks. And the beast of the mana in this deck is Chromatic Lantern, being able to tap our land for any color mana. So once we have this in play, we're pretty much set. So in form of control, we have Shatter the Skies. Obviously, wrath effects are good. We have Elspeth Conquers Death. On historic, since the anthologies have dropped, we've run into a lot of Ulamogs. So this is really how we deal with Ulamog, because Ulamog is indestructible, so we do have to have some form of exile or bounce, and we don't typically want to bounce an Ulamog and have them recast it and then just get us again with the exile 2 permanent trigger of Ulamog. So we want to just exile and be rid of it. Again, Fall of the Thran, this is good just because, like I mentioned earlier, the base of our deck, the beef of our deck, we're trying to just destroy all the lands. Flood of Tears. Now there was an old combo back before rotation with Flood of Tears and Omniscience. Omniscience lets us cast spells for free without paying their mana cost. However, it is a 10 mana card. So we're typically never probably ever going to cast this Omniscience, but it can come into play from Eerie Ultimatum if it's in the graveyard, or with Flood of Tears. So Flood of Tears is really cool because it says return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. So we're going to bounce all the creatures in play, all the enchantments, all the artifacts, all the planeswalkers. Everything's going to go back into each other's hands. But when we cast this, if we had 4 non-land permanents on the battlefield, which we typically will, we then get to put 1 card from our hand into play for free. So if we have Omniscience in play and or in our hand, and we had 4 other permanents in play, like, so let's say we started off with a Leyline of the Void for free, and then we played Elvish Rejuvenator, Gift of Paradise, Chromatic Lantern, we're already at 4 permanents. So we cast Flood of Tears, we bounce all those, we play Omniscience, and then everything in our hand is free for the rest of the game as long as it's in play. And then we just replay all that stuff for free, and then we just take over the game. So again, this deck is really, really, really fun. I've played 2 test games with it before we started recording. Lost one, won the other one. But this deck, it looks very powerful and can do pretty powerful things, especially any deck with Omniscience. If you can land that, it's ridiculous. Also do want to point out that we are playing a land-based deck, and with land searching and being able to bring back with Eerie Ultimatum, we are focusing a little bit on Field of the Dead. We're not playing 4 like most of the other decks in Historic right now, but this is kind of a must include if you are playing anything that has to revolve around land searching or anything, because being able to get free 2/2 zombies every time you play a land is pretty good. And on top of that, we are exploring Karuga, so another companion. Our starting deck contains only cards with converted mana cost 3 or greater and lands. So obviously, as you can see, everything our deck costs 3 or more. And when he comes into play, we get to draw a card for each other permanent we control that costs 3 or more. So we're going to drop him probably on turn 5 or 6 and just draw like maybe 2 or 3 cards. Just get a good value out of them, and then just see where we land from there. So I think this is a really balanced companion, honestly. So this is played in a lot of Fire's deck in standard right now. So all right, with that being said, we're gonna hop into the gameplay. I do want to remind everybody to please stay until the end of the video, where we hit up the wrap up, and we will talk about what we liked in the deck, what we didn't like, and any potential changes we might make. So all right, let's hop into the gameplay, and we will see you guys here shortly. Reacher. Okay, that was a really quick pairing, by the way. It's a mirror match. We're going first. We have all the Chromatic Lanterns. Let's see what happens, shall we? Typically, this is not where you want to play. Okay, so he's playing a Maze's End deck. Alright, so we need to, really just make sure that we get ahead of the Maze's End. Need to make sure we hit a follow the Thran pretty quickly. We're going to get rid of, we don't have land. I guess we are going to, that doesn't get us anywhere. This doesn't really get us, none of these really get us anywhere. Alright, so, okay, so that's pretty good. We can... kind of like just getting this started. Need to hit a follow the Thran. No attacks. Okay, so we're definitely going to see some zombies here. Not a big deal. I mean, you see my guy there, right? Oh, still nothing. Really would have liked to have hit a land there. Golos, huh? Well, alright, well, on the plus side, Oh, so you can only hit for 4. So I think, yeah, we have to.
Let me aid your research.
Well, we're not having the best luck. Good thing is he attacks Tamiyo down to 4. We can still activate the minus ability to get a land back. And then we get Omniscience into play. We may not even need to do that, honestly. Well, we definitely have to.
The past is never forgotten.
I mean, just the Omniscience itself is huge. Give me all them zombies. Oh, well played, sir. Take action. Let's block some zombies. There's the last one. There we go. +1. Because why the hell not? So we haven't hit one yet. We're pretty much due to hit one of these at any moment. Yep. Good game. Good game. His Assassin's Trophy play was pretty good, but... Alright, let's see what's behind door number 2. If your timer fuse runs down, you don't have any extra time extensions, you'll automatically pass through the current turn. It's good to know. But we already knew that. This is a long-ish matchmaking. There we go. 2 Undertaker. They're going first. All right, so we can play everything in our hand. That is good. We will keep. And let's find out what our opponent is playing. As cool as these are, I don't really think they need animations. I don't think they warrant animations. Okay, well, we are representing all of the colors. So he probably thinks we're on some kind of weird fires deck. But we're not. Dovin. Interesting. Don't know what he's playing. I'm assuming he's playing all of the Teferis in his deck. He's just playing like Esper Super Friends. Now let's get rid of that. Does he minus here? Is he really just going to time out already? I assume these decks just hit a minus, go for 2 1/1s, and then start plussing next turn. We're actually getting 3 a turn. I mean, he'll probably come back on our turn. I don't think we actually need to, as much as I want to, I don't think we need to do that. All right, let's see what he's up to. Will our opponent miss another turn? It looks like it. Looks like Dovin was the peak of his deck. So, I do want to point out to everybody, there have been a lot of disconnect issues happening since the last like 1 to 2 updates. So, I don't think it's on our side. I do think it's the client side. So, but yeah, just coming out of the last game, sorry, not the last game, in speaking in regards to my comments coming out of the last game, in regards to the disconnects, I was playing a test game because I wanted to at least get 1 game under my belt before we played this deck. And we won the game, and then it actually, as we were going back to the main menu, it disconnected us. So this is an interesting hand. Not one that I think we can keep, but I don't necessarily. I really just don't like these 2 ultimatums in our hands. And it's funny. Drink more water. And what do I always tell you guys? Hydrate. Drink more water. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Should have just kept the other hand. Why? Alright, well, we'll keep this. Get rid of that. And that. He starts with 6, we essentially start with 6. So I do not have any idea what deck plays Lutri in Historic. Temple.deck. All the temples. All the time. Blue-black temple. That would get me good. Oh, okay. It's like it's a Kiln Fiend deck, really. Interesting. We'll throw down a Karuga next turn as a blocker. Okay. Or we won't. That costs 2. So Kiln Fiend cannot be ECD'd. Do it to it, buddy. It's pretty good there. He doesn't have trample, does he? No. Okay. I mean, we did pretty much expect that. So we are going to I'm playing this because if we hit a Field of the Dead, we're really good, but obviously we don't. So we're just playing out this Rejuvenator as a potential chump blocker. But okay, drawn from Dreams, huh? Karuga's gonna draw us 2 cards this time. But we could Tamiyo and try to hit a Wrath. Or just draw a Wrath? Oh no, that would have been too much to ask for. If we miss though, I think we lose if we miss regardless. Oh, we hit. Awesome. So, depending on what he does, we can play a Eerie Ultimatum next turn if he taps out. His deck plays at instant speed though, so yeah, I don't really think that's necessarily. Let's draw some cards potentially. Here. Let's do this and force you to have an answer.
I follow the tracks of the wise.
So we are going to bring back forests, a woodland cemetery.
Seek and
So we're gonna get 2 more land back next turn. Risk factor. Let's see. Isolated Chapel, Sun Petal Grove. We're gonna take the damage. So I think we get him real good here.
I have learned much from my ancestors.
Definitely want to make sure we hit fall of the Thran. And Omniscience. We're going to attach Gift to Paradise there. All right. And I think we're good from here. And we're able to hit all non-land permanents as well. So, good game. That was a fun one. Sorry, we had to kind of lean back for that one. That's how good we felt about that game. So yeah, so that last game, oh, that was quick. That last game was on a Multi 5. So, Mort God. We can keep this. Just need to make sure that we draw another land. Hopefully an untapped land of some sorts. Okay, that'll work as well. And what kind of... Yep, always Growth Spiral. I think Growth Spiral's got to be the most played card by a long shot in just all of Arena. Which one is this? Ketria? We don't have either one of these. So if he... Okay, just an Uro. Uro's no big thing. Land there would have been really good. We'll just take a Chromatic Lantern. We can draw 3 next turn, potentially. Depending on what our opponent's playing. It's weird. This weird Bant deck. I think we're just gonna set up. So now we have the potential to draw 5 cards. And we can discard like a Shatter the Sky or something along those lines. Oh, okay, so we're playing against a Honden deck, and we don't really necessarily care about either one of these. So depending on what he does, we can just Ruinous Ultimatum him. We don't really care about him gaining 2 life a turn. That's also fine. We could draw so many cards off of him. I mean, if we hit here, the game's over, right? And do we? I think we do. I think we do. I think we draw all the cards. So let's get rid of a Field of the Dead, that. 6 cards, huh? So on our next turn, everything's gonna cost 2 extra mana. I think we're in an okay position. He's not gonna be able to counterspell anything. Okay. And I think we just run it back, right? Oh, look at that. Yep. Good game. Armageddon. Should just be KO. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm really liking Historic. It's God, like I said earlier, it's almost a breath of fresh air right now. There's so many people, you know, especially with the introduction of the Anthologies 3 set, there's so many people that are trying to figure out the format. So there's just a slew of decks out there for you to play. You know, having access to potentially every card that's on Arena right now. So if we draw land, this is okay. Because we do have a Wrath. If he's playing an aggro type deck, it's fine. I think we have to keep this. I know this is a greedy keep, but I think the potential payoff here is just really good. Or at least being able to control the game. Maybe not the payoff per se, but because, you know, we're just hoping our opponent's on a aggressive type deck, but has a slow start. Or, you know, this game just never happens because our opponent is trying to figure out what game we're playing. You know, I could see that. Just, oh, what is this game? Let's give this here Magic Arena a chance. Oh, look at you. You finally decided to rope and then show. Okay, so that's fine. And we did draw land, so all right, so he's just playing life gain type deck. Okay. So if he's not going to do much, we should be fine. I wouldn't mind having that in play, but What the hell is that thing? Okay. Alright, well, we're definitely going to go ahead and wrath up the board here. Start this over. That was loud. Whew. That just like hit my eardrums crazy loud. Okay. So all of our hopes and our dreams have been coming true so far. That's kind of... That only kills creatures and planeswalkers, right? Artifact and creature, okay. Artifact and creature. So if we do this... Alright, then we can draw a bunch of cards. Okay, this worked out really well. Because now we can bring back this Elspeth Conquers Death and kill this Ajani's. You wanna bring it in? No? Well...
Every story is an opportunity for new data.
It's almost worth wrathing here. Almost.
The storied past holds our future.
Not necessarily worth wrathing, but... Yeah, I don't think that, creatures are enchantments, buddy. So we're not going to attack. We're going to kind of just try to bait him into sacking his Alseed to kill our Tamiyo. Look at that. Look at that. So, what do we want? What is our ultimate... What is our best draw? Another one? No, but we did get a lot of bad cards out of the way, which is good. Alright, well, let's just try to hit some creatures then. And do we Thran here? That's the question. I don't think we do. And if we attack, he can just block. It would kill Karuga. Karuga would be able to come back next turn. Might have been worth it to attack there, but... So I'm going to block the hell out of your God Eternal, Aketra. So 5. So the double strike will kill these two. He can just give it protection. If he does this, it forces him to do it now. Yeah. So we're gonna make him use his all seeds of life's bounty right now. I'm gonna say oops like I messed up. Even though he messed up. We're gonna draw all the cards. All of them. What is in our graveyard? So we can actually pop this to return something like a rat. These aren't indestructible, just double strike. Yeah. Yeah, good game. Good game, buddy. Ooh. I wish I could have actually played that turn out. It's probably my fault for not going faster. Alright, we want to get one more game in for you guys. Again, our opponent earlier just mentally exhausted himself. He spent 3 mana and he played a Dovin. And that just took everything out of him. So we're gonna keep this. So what are we playing against? We're playing against some weird version of discard. Might be pitching this no, we'll be pitching this Shatter this guy. Let's draw land. Oh, beautiful land. Oh, beautiful land. So that leaves us open to getting this Eerie Ultimatum removed, but we are going to draw a bunch of cards next turn. Sure. This is interesting playing against a discard deck. Let's see what we get first before we play this land. Ooh. I like this. Tamiyo is really good against discard decks. Why? Because spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. Okay, so Menace and Lifelink, maybe even Death Touch and Lifelink. Okay. I would have done some Menace action there. So, what do we get back?
The past is never forgotten.
Let's go ahead and gain some life. No attacks. We will block. We will block a Grim Dancer. I guess it really just depends on how he attacks. Because he could kill Tamiyo first and then... Okay, well, unfortunately, it's not going to work how you want it to work. So, we're going to block.
No one asked for your input.
Alright, so... Well, before we do that,
Seek and find.
let us... Oh, we almost named Flooded Tears also. This deck is so much fun. Oh, man. It's like you're trying to get us to discard, but then we don't discard. And that's fine.
Do not harm my scroll.
You're really not going to like this card. Yeah, good game. Good game. Sorry about that, but Tamiyo's really good against discard-based decks. Hey everybody, welcome to the wrap-up. Let's talk about how this deck did. We went 6-0. This deck, like I had predicted earlier, it played amazingly well, did crazy, super powerful things. We played one extra game because we did, again, have somebody who timed out on us after their turn 3 dove in. The game he just decided the game was too hard for him at that point and just decided to leave. You know, his brain just kind of shut down, I guess. So, but with that being said, 6-0 in games. The 2 test games before we played, we went 1-1. Overall, we're 7-1 with this deck. This deck is a lot of fun to play. This deck is very expensive to build. There's pretty much all rares and all mythics, except for some rejuvenators and gifted paradises. But yeah, other than that, I actually do think everything in here is rare or mythic. Now, what would I change about this? I do think we failed short in what we were trying to do in the form of the Fall of the Thran. So I think Fall of the Thran might need to be bumped up to 4, but I really didn't want to focus on it. The Flood of Tears was actually added in the deck right before we started playing our video games, because during our test games we were playing with 4 Fall of the Thrans, but I figure, you know what, if we're playing Omniscience, we might want to try to just get one extra way to get it out. And we decided, you know what, Fall of Thran isn't the most busted card in the deck, even though that is what we are trying to do. So we did bump it down to 3. So we could just remove Flood of Tears, bump up Fall of Thran to 4, and be done with it. Now, again, I do want you guys to note we are playing 61 cards. I just didn't want to. I play 61 cards a lot. It's just something I've always done back since I want to say it was Tempest Block. Back when I played, a lot of Paper Magic competitively. So, but yeah, so that's what I would do. Up to 4 Fall of the Thrans, down 1 Flood of Tears, and then maybe even try to fit in 1 more Elspeth Conquers Death, but you don't need to do that. I just feel like there is just so much Ulamog going around. It is something you need to be ready for, because if you can't deal with an Ulamog as soon as it comes down into play, there's just you're done. A lot of the decks though are focusing on more of a recursion plan, so they're not really casting it or just like sneaking it into play. So again, it's not super detrimental when it hits usually, but you're probably gonna run into a lot of like maybe elf decks or mana ramp decks that just power out an Ulamog with like a Nissa or the green Leyline and elves. And if they can cast it multiple times or even just once, it's really hard to recover from. Ulamog is a very powerful card. But yeah, I really, really enjoy this deck, and I'm really enjoying Historic. Historic is allowing me to do some pretty cool brewing. It is allowing just some really cool ideas to come together, when right now Standard is pretty stale with everybody just playing Luca or the Yorion based Luca decks, or the Lurrus cycling deck, or the Lurrus black deck, or the Obosh red deck. There's just only like 3 or 4 decks I feel like in Standard that are competitive. So this is just a really good it's really refreshing to be able to play a new format, especially where I'm not too familiar with it. So right now the possibilities are endless. So if there is something you want to see made into a deck for another historic video, please let me know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Again, we had almost 100 new followers yesterday. We got a big shout out yesterday. It was so awesome. I do appreciate the Hob army coming in, and just we got a big shout out, very big German YouTuber. So thank you so much. All right, but other than that, guys, yeah, just hit that subscribe button and stay safe. It is Saturday. Everybody could be out partying, but we're still trying to social distance, and we want the world to be a better place. So, all right, guys, stay safe again. We will see you guys next time.